What Really Happened to James Earl Jones, star in The Great White Hope. James Earl Jones was born on January 17, 1931, in Arkabutla, Mississippi, the U.S. As a child, Jones developed a severe stutter, which he overcame during his high school years. From the age of 5, Jones was raised by his maternal grandparents, John Henry and Maggie Williams, on their farm in Jackson, Michigan. They had moved from Mississippi in the Great Migration. Because of this, he became withdrawn and refused to speak to anyone. He initially attended the Browning School for Boys and then graduated from Brethren High School. He went to the University of Michigan to study medicine. During the course of his studies, Jones discovered he was not cut out to be a doctor. Instead, he focused on the drama at the University of Michigan School of Music, Theater and Dance with the thought of doing something he enjoyed, before, he assumed, he would have to go off to fight in the Korean War. After 4 years of college, Jones graduated from the university in 1955. Jones joined the Reserve Officer Training Corps and served in the military during the Korean War. Initially, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant and was promoted to the first lieutenant by the time of his discharge. After being discharged from the Army, he went to New York and studied at the American Theater Wing. During this time, he worked as a janitor to earn his living. He began his acting career as a stage artist. He had worked part-time at the Ramsdale Theater prior to his military stint. He was a stage carpenter in 1953 and began working as an actor in 1955 when he performed in Shakespeare's Othello. Over the next few years, he acted in many of Shakespeare's plays like King Lear, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Measure for Measure, and Hamlet. He landed his first film role in 1964 when he was cast as Lieutenant Lothar Zog in Stanley Kubrick's black comedy, Dr. Strangelove. Jones played the lead role in the 1967 play, The Great White Hope, in which he portrayed the boxing champion, Jack Jefferson. The play was highly successful and ran for 546 performances. He reprised his role as Jack Jefferson in the 1970 movie, The Great White Hope, which was adapted from the play of the same name. He received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for his role. Jones enjoyed great success throughout the 1970s and 1980s as he performed a variety of roles in movies of different genres. Some of his best-known works from this time period were Claudine, 1974, The Greatest, 1977, Conan the Barbarian, 1982, Gardens of Stone, 1987, and Best of the Best, 1989. Blessed with a deep and distinctive voice, James voiced Darth Vader in the Star Wars trilogy, Star Wars, 1977, The Empire Strikes Back, 1980, and Return of the Jedi, 1983. Upon his request, he was uncredited for his work until 1997. Jones played the main character, Gabriel Byrd, in the television series, Gabriel's Fire, which ran from 1990 to 1991. In the series, he portrayed a former Chicago police officer who gets wrongfully sentenced to life imprisonment. In 1995, he appeared in the television drama series, Under One Roof, which revolved around the lives of 3 generations of an African-American family that shares a house. He portrayed Rev. Stephen Kamala in the 1995 film, Cry, The Beloved Country, which was directed by Darrell Root. The movie was based on Alan Patton's novel of the same name. During the 2000s, Jones made appearances on various television shows such as CBS's 2.5 Men, the WB drama Everwood, Fox's medical drama House, MD, and CBS's The Big Bang Theory. In 2002, Jones received Kennedy Center honors at the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. Also at the ceremony included fellow honorees Paul Simon, Elizabeth Taylor, and Chita Rivera. Jones also lent his voice to the opening for NBC's coverage of the 2000 and 2004 Summer Olympics, The Big Pie in the Sky in the computer game Under a Killing Moon, a claymation film, The Creation, and several other guest spots on The Simpsons. Although uncredited, Jonas' voice is possibly heard as Darth Vader at the conclusion of Star Wars, Episode III, Revenge of the Sith 2005. Jones would later officially reprise his voice role of Vader for the character's appearances in the animated TV series Star Wars Rebels and the live-action film Rogue One, A Star Wars Story 2016, as well as for a brief voice cameo in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker 2019. On April 7, 2005, Jones and Leslie Uggams headed the cast in an African-American Broadway revival version of On Golden Pond, directed by Leonard Foglia and produced by Jeffrey Finn. In February 2008, he starred on Broadway as Big Daddy in a limited-run, all-African-American production of Tennessee Williams' Pulitzer Prize-winning drama Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, directed by Debbie Allen and mounted at the Broadhurst Theatre. In November 2009, James reprised the role of Big Daddy in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof at the Novello Theatre in London's West End. This production also stars Sanaa Lathan as Maggie, Felicia Rashad as Big Mama, and Adrian Lester as Brick. In 2009, for his work on film and television, Jones was presented with the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award by Forrest Whitaker. In October 2010, Jones returned to the Broadway stage in Alfred Urry's Driving Miss Daisy, along with Vanessa Redgrave at the Golden Theatre. In November 2011, Jones starred in Driving Miss Daisy in London's West End, and on November 12 received an honorary Oscar in front of the audience at the Wyndham's Theatre, which was presented to him by Ben Kingsley. In March 2012, Jones played the role of President Art Hochstader in Gore Vidal's The Best Man on Broadway at the Schoenfeld Theatre. He was nominated for a Tony for Best Performance in a Lead Role in a Revival. In 2013, Jones starred opposite Vanessa Redgrave in a production of Much Ado About Nothing directed by Mark Rylance at the Old Vic, London. From February to June 2013, Jones starred alongside Dame Angela Lansbury in an Australian tour of Driving Miss Daisy. In 2014, Jones starred alongside Annalay Ashford as Grandpa in the Broadway revival You Can't Take It With You at the Longacre Theatre, Broadway. Ashford received a Tony Award nomination for her performance. In 2013-2014, he appeared alongside Malcolm McDowell in a series of commercials for Sprint in which the two recited mundane phone and text message conversations in a dramatic way. On September 23, 2015, Jones opened in a new revival of the Gin Game opposite Cicely Tyson, in the John Golden Theatre, where the play had originally premiered. The play had a planned limited run of 16 weeks. It closed on January 10, 2016. In 2015, Jones starred as the Chief Justice Caleb Thorne in the American drama series Agent X alongside actress Sharon Stone, Jeff Hefner, Jamie Sheridan, and others. The television series was aired by TNT from November 8 to December 27, 2015, running only one season and 10 episodes. In 2019, he reprised his voice role of Mufasa for the CGI remake of The Lion King, directed by Jon Favreau, in which he was the only original voice cast member to do so. According to Favreau, Jonas' lines remained mostly the same as the original film. Eddie Murphy announced that Jones would reprise the role of Jaffe Joffer in Coming to America 2021, the sequel to Coming to America 1988. In personal life, Jones married American actress, singer Julianne Marie in 1968, whom he met while performing as Othello in 1964. They had no children and divorced in 1972. In 1982, He married actress Cecilia Hart, with whom he had one child, son Flynn Earl Jones. Hart died from ovarian cancer on October 16, 2016. In April 2016, Jones spoke publicly for the first time in nearly 20 years about his long-term health challenge with type 2 diabetes. He was diagnosed in the mid-1990s after his doctor noticed he had fallen asleep while exercising at a gym. Thank you for listening to the story about the life of James Earl Jones. Like and comment on your opinion in the comments section below.